I thought we could go through how I've adapted our own marketing for Rupert. So rather than sending people straight to Rupert, I've succumbed to the realization that the login process still isn't great. But what I don't want to do is send traffic there and waste money. What I'm now doing is testing out lead forms on Facebook. Like with any lead gen campaign, you're going to get some good, you're going to get some bad, you're going to get some ugly. 5 out of the 30 book in a demo. Some haven't showed up, some have.
From their perspective, they're probably not used to people actually following.
Phone once, email once, do that once and just leave it. What you need to do is just put them onto a nurture program and just keep them going all the time. They cost us money, we've got to be on this. Changing the terminology, hey, do you want to try it for free, to let's do a proof of concept, your whole psyche would change.
When the numbers are there, you can kind of see it a bit clearer.
Let's show you the value in Rupert rather than try it for free. Welcome to another episode of The Fake Marketer. And yes, this is James here. And Nick isn't here.
Again?
Mate, there's trouble in camp. We're not very often together in this anymore.
He held it down while you were away, and now he's like taking a break.
Well, he now reckons he's busy, but I'm not convinced his busy is as busy as my busy. So I think my busy is better than his busy.
He's doing his little school thing. Isn't he?
Yeah, he is, yeah. Which, can I say, actually, he's got... I checked last night because I was just curious to see what grief I'd get today, because he's, a celebrity now, the doctor. He's got over 300.
307.
Wow. 300. I was 301 last night when I checked, so okay, give him his due.
Got some people chatting back and forth.
Yeah, it's very good. So, yeah, no, it's fair play to him, but he's busy, right? He tells me. I don't know if that's a load of bollocks or not, but we'll see. And he's not wearing the lab coat anymore.
Apparently that's what he said on one of the podcasts. He said he was going to retire the doctor. I was like,
wow.
I had to hold something.
Wow, he's not just retiring. He's not retiring it entirely. He's putting the stethoscope around his neck
just a little
with
nod.
A nice shirt on. So he's gone very much consultant. He's done his years in the not the studio. What's the word I'm looking for?
The what's it called? The theatre.
In the theatre, he's now a consultant. Earning the big bucks. There you go. So Nick's not here, so it's me again. And obviously, as always, everyone, Michael's here.
Holding it down.
The producer Michael, as he's known.
I got some new cream for my head. I don't know if I'm less shiny now.
No, you're still really shiny. A little bit sweaty today. Just to let you know.
Sorry? Could have just said yeah. But
yeah, okay. I don't sweat much, really.
My mum, I mentioned the bald bro thing, and my mum was out, and she was like, "Oh, I found this. It's like mattifying SPF. It's a bit like what bald bro do, but
nice.
Bulldog.
I know it. I know the brand.
SPF.
Yeah, nice. Okay, good.
There you go.
Good. So obviously, this is a marketing podcast.
Very serious.
Very, very serious. I haven't seen any clips from the last episode of me talking about the co-op.
They're all done. They're going out. I can tell you when the first one's... I think I'm interested to see how those are going to perform, because now that we've had a few like big ones, and since you pointed out like the sort of way that they seem to do well, I think there might be at least one that I think will do all right.
I just want one of the top 3, if I'm being honest.
Oh yeah, because the one I was thinking of had Nick in again, because you remember when he was talking about French trains.
Okay.
When he was saying that like he went to France and the French trains are way better, and why haven't we got good trains? I thought like the title is UK versus French trains, which are versus.
See, but this is what I like, Michael. You're learning.
Yeah. And I'm hoping, you'll get in the comments, people will be about like privatising and all this, then they'll go back and forth, and then
Nice. Okay.
we're off to the.
So you reckon you reckon that'll be a top performer?
Well, I don't think it's going to be like Gosney, but I think it will clear.
Well, it's topical.
Well, clear. Apparently, it's trending according to Opus. I don't know.
Okay.
It sometimes flashes up with like a trending thing if it's trending.
Get it out. When's that go?
Tuesday.
We'll see. We'll see.
First one of the co-op ones, and that one go out on the same day. So.
Okay. Nice. Okay. Good.
Big shoes to fill.
Big shoes to fill. So I thought we could discuss today, because obviously we really prepped for this podcast.
You think long and hard.
Hours of preparation go on this. I thought we could go through how I've adapted our own marketing for Rupert. Because again, we're very candid about what's going on. If you watch our vlog, you'll see that. Do you know what? I've had so many calls recently of people like, I love how honest you are now. And I was like, well, what do you mean? They're like, you just never like you're having fun. I went, well, I'm not most days. No, that's the reality.
It's weird that that's like rare, isn't it? Like, when people bring it up, it's like no
But
one's
I think-
ever honest in anything.
No, but what I think we need to do is I think we do need to lighten it a little bit.
Yeah, well, I can only edit what I've got.
No, I know.
If you're having
I
a
know.
bad day.
But this week should be good
yeah.
because we won the award. The best AI startup in the Midlands, Sniff. Top 10 in the UK. So that should be a little bit more positive. So yeah, I need to be a little bit more positive, which I will be. But yeah, so our own marketing, I've changed a little bit what we're doing. So what I was doing, what we've started doing, because obviously we stopped all our marketing while V2 was being readied and wanted to be deployed. So what I'm now doing is testing out lead forms on Facebook. So rather than sending people straight to Rupert.digital and creating an account, try for free for 30 days, I've succumbed to the realization that the login process still isn't great. So although we've got it better, but it's still not great, Michael. It's still not great. And I want to. It's needs to be 2 clicks. So Matt is working on that, the new CTO, which is great, and that should be ready for probably in the next week. But what I don't want to do is send traffic there and waste money. So what I've decided to do is test sending them to a Facebook form and answering 1 of 3 questions. So do you run paid ads? Have you missed a sales opportunity in your comments? And who looks after the comments in your business? Is it the owner? Is it the team member? Or is it the agency? Which is really good. So we're getting leads at the moment, about £15 a lead. Now out of those, we've had 28 in a week so far, which is really good. Like 30 people have gone, yeah, okay.
Is that people who've completed the form? Or
Complete the form,
Oh, okay.
which is really good.
Is it like a drop down thing, or do they have to type it in?
Drop down, always drop down, make it easy. So, yes, that's worked really well. Now, like with any lead gen campaign, you're gonna get some good, you're gonna get some bad, you're gonna get some ugly. Okay, and that is just the nature of the beast. So I've probably spoken to. I should have brought my laptop actually. To your point a minute ago, I've probably spoke to 30% of them. They've answered the phone. I've had probably 5 out of the 30 booking a demo. Some haven't showed up. Some have. Some are, which you'll see in the vlog actually. There's an anger management consultancy, which is Michael's hilarious. They're going to try it. And, their social media team girl, Melanie, I think her name was, said, yeah, I really like it. I can see how this can add value to what we're currently doing. So, yeah, there's been some early signs of some positives. But when you're doing these types of lead generation campaigns, you're going to get some rubbish. And there's no way around it. Like the ones I did prior to V2 going live, although there's a lot of rubbish, actually one of our biggest paying customers in there, so TGC in Scotland, they came from a Facebook ad. They're now paying $299 a month. Well, that's a $3,500 client. That's amazing. So yes, you're going to have to kiss some frogs. And I mentioned this probably in the podcast, in the vlog, which you're editing. I think it's next week, your thing. And I talk about this, and it's like, you are going to kiss some frogs. And frustratingly, although I want every single lead to be amazing, they're not going to be.
Unless you have like 1 million qualifying questions, but then you're not going to get anyone complete it.
No, but what's interesting with the qualifying questions is even though you can put, tons in, obviously it's barrier to entry because not everyone's going to fill them all in, so it's going to put some people off. But actually, when you look at the quality, it doesn't matter if you have 3 or 30. 30 is obviously a bit extreme there. You'll still get some nonsense, even though they ask you to fill in loads. Like I spoke to a couple where they've gone, oh yeah, no, I was just looking, mate. Okay, cool. Well, look, I'd love to show you a demo. Yeah, no, not for me. You've just literally put it in 10 minutes ago, mate. Because I call them straight away. I don't wait unless it's like late at night. And yeah, they're not interested.
They probably feel a bit intimidated. Then they're probably a bit like, oh, I was just filling a form and now this bloke's ringing me. It's
but it says
pressure
to book in a demo.
No, I get it. But I mean, from their perspective, they're probably not used to people actually following the thing.
Well, yeah, I guess so. But if you're putting in your mobile number,
you can't be shocked.
Of course you're going to get a call. Like, what planet you on? So yes, that's been so they've worked out. So far the cost per lead is about 15 quid. We've not had a conversion yet, which is fine.
But again, it's going to be a long sort of tail, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the key with this, and it's just knowing the numbers. So at the moment, this is me testing what my numbers are, and I know that I'm going to spend a lot of time following up on some rubbish, but I've got to follow up to make sure they are rubbish. So what I could do, and what most salespeople would do with Facebook forms, is they'll go phone once, email once. I'll even text them to I'm annoying these guys. I'm really on it. Well, they cost us money. We've got to be on this. And they'll just do that once and just leave it. Whereas actually what you need to do is just continuously follow it, put them onto a nurture program, and just keep them going all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the moment they're not. They're definitely not.
You were talking, I remember a while ago, you spoke about going to like a page that had like a webinar, seminar, video type thing. Is that a thing you still think?
I still want to do that actually, and I got that idea from a guy on TikTok actually. I think I've sent a few of them to Rupert actually. This lad who's created a SaaS product and he reckons he's going to make it into £1 million in a year or some nonsense.
You don't think he's got it?
Oh no, I don't really know he does, but no, very good TikToks now, Michael. These content creators on TikTok are very good, very good. But he does a webinar funnel, and he reckons it. Well, he shows you the number. He shows you the numbers of his Stripe account. Obviously, you don't know if this is fabricated or not.
Yeah.
But it looks good, and actually, I do agree. Actually, when I'd like my LinkedIn lives I do on a Wednesday, if I could get 100 people on there, I believe I'd do some serious conversions on that because it is, when you're given examples of brands that are literally missing out there and then, it's hard to go against it really.
Yeah.
Because the numbers are there. It's like Brewdog on Tuesday. I've got a call with them after their 3-month trial, which actually I'll go into now actually. So what I've done with some brands is the ones that either have more accounts than just one, or they've got a vast amount of comments. What I'm doing is a proof of concept. And actually this is for anyone listening to this who's got like a free trial, or actually just changing the terminology to proof of concept. So like today, the gym group in Ireland, Women's Fitness. So they've got, I think it's 4 or 5 gyms. So they've got 4 and 5 different Facebook pages. Great. Michael and Ellen run them through, did the demo with them. They liked it. And they said, okay, what's the next stage? I said, well, what we do is we do a proof of concept. So we connect all your 5 accounts up on an agency account, which I'll set up with you, Ellen. So again, it's that another touch point, more communication with them, which I'm doing tomorrow at 10 o'clock. They'll then connect their accounts. And then after 30 days, I'll produce a report for them. But by then, I'll know how many comments they've received. So what will be great for this is I'll know that actually they receive on a month 10,000 comments. Well, actually, I know what my cost is, and I'll say that that's going to cost you this amount of much money.
Yeah.
So rather than going down the SaaS platform way, the pure SaaS, which is it's going to cost you 50, 90 or whatever a month.
This is the price. Yeah.
It's doing it this way. Now, there are some negatives to that. My time at the moment is free. But let's say there was an employee doing that. There's obviously that you've got to factor that cost in. But you are having more touch points with the client. So yes, it's a SaaS platform, but I still believe actually having that human interaction is going to help not just conversion, but also longevity. Because so far our churn rate is still 0. But just changing the terminology, hey, do you want to try it for free, to let's do a proof of concept. Yeah. Like if I said to you, a new piece of software for editing, right? And I said, oh, do you want a free trial on this? What would you say to me?
It's probably like something where you try it maybe like once and then you kind of forget about it and then you just hope it doesn't charge.
Because it's a free trial, right?
Yeah.
It's free. And you, to be fair, Michael, you wouldn't say this to me, but you'd be like, oh, James, I know this other software.
I'll get to it when I get to it.
Yeah, like the ones I have given you, which you've never tried, yeah? The ones I've sort of mentioned. There you go. But if I said to you, we're going to do a proof of concept, your whole psyche would change. And actually, Michael, we've done this recently, and you've not clocked onto this. Where did we do this recently? I used the term, let's do a proof of concept. And you actually did it straight away.
I don't remember.
The new TikTok
videos.
Yeah. So I said to you, let's do a proof of concept.
Oh,
and you went
did
away
say
and did
that.
them, didn't
I
you?
remember you saying it, but I couldn't remember what it was
Yeah,
regarding.
yeah. Was those. And I'm not saying that you obviously don't do stuff straight away, but literally your whole psyche changed. And it does work. It absolutely works. It just
Yeah.
changes. Like,
I think free trial is also sort of the connotations of free trial are a bit like I'm giving this to you, I'll sort of leave you to it now, and it's up to you what you get from it. Whereas the way you're saying it with the proof of concept's a bit more like interactive. It's like I'm gonna be here with you, and at the end we're going to do this. It sort of feels a bit more like personal than just here's a free trial, hope you like it, see you later type thing.
yeah, and at the end of it, they'll get a little report, which to me and Liv have nailed now to about 2.5 minutes to do. Amazing. So it's no skin off our nose. The data's there. We just put it into a prompt and we create this report, which is great. She quickly does it in Canva, which takes literally like 90 seconds, which is great. It takes me about a minute to do the actual report. And it goes over and it's really good. Like I'd check it over and obviously just amend some stuff where I think that maybe we're off piste a little bit. But then that business area has got a report. They can see the value in their comments and go, well, actually, there's some next actions here, which is obviously look, you need to use Rupert, but this is how you would use Rupert, and actually, it's only going to cost you $2.99 a month or something of that nature.
Yeah, it gives them a bit of chance to like reflect on it as well, because if they've used it or whatever, they probably think like, oh, I used it here and there. But if you're like, oh, you had this many comments, you can kind of look back on it and be like, oh yeah, actually, like when the numbers are there, you can kind of see it a bit clearer.
Well, if you think, let's say these gyms, they don't think they reckon they get about 2 comments a day, right? Which is fine, but is
that on each thing or is that across?
Ella wasn't too sure because 2 of the girls in the other office do it. So I think they'll probably get more. I think they'll be slightly surprised on how many they actually get because they're running paid ads as well. I think they'll get more. They won't get loads more. They'll probably get between 3 or 4, which is fine. But every month that's 120. Now, if out of those 120, 20 of those, a fifth of those, a little bit more than a fifth, are sales opportunities, and they're being notified of those sales opportunities in real time. Well, that's such a compelling argument for the owner, Michael, to go, guys. That would only be £90 a month because they're not getting enough comments. But for £90 a month, we can be notified of a sales opportunity. Now we know the value of a customer for a gym. Let's say their gym membership's £50 a month, and the average length of stay is a year. Well, that's £600 a lifetime value of a customer, and this is costing us $1,000 a year. We only need 2, and it pays for it.
Yeah.
Out of all those comments,
Yeah.
as well as they're investing in themselves to acquire new customers via their paid. So yeah, I've changed that recently, and I'll be honest, even from my psyche of selling it, it's actually quite nice to go, right, let's do a proof of concept. Let's show you the value in Rupert rather than try it for free. Try it for free. Try it for free. And everyone's like, well, A, you're cheaping it because it's free. Well, no, you shouldn't be cheaping it. It's fucking class. Like, this is a fucking good system. So like tomorrow I'm with Oxford United in the morning, and I'm going to do the same with Adam, which is, look, let's do a proof of concept for the next month because they're doing a lot more on the retail side now. Actually with David Powell from Seed, We Are Seed.
Heard the name. What's he from?
Daddy-O.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so his stuff. So again, that's going to help some of their work. So again, it's that proof of concept. Already I can see how it's going to transform some of the larger opportunities. So like Co-op Travel, they booked in a call on the 17th, which is amazing.
Not Co-op.
Well, do you know what? I have to say, Michael, I laughed because it came in yesterday and I laughed and went, as if Co-op Travel have put in a request for a demo on the 17th after a week of us going, a bit
Boycotting Co-op.
Boycott. I've not considered winning one, and I'm going to make that really clear. Even the other day, where was I coming back from? I needed something, and I went, can't do it. I'm not. They're not going to have my money. I'm not interested. Honestly, I spend like, you don't have kids yet, but when you do. Like, when you're popping back from work or your missus come back from work, right?
Something.
I can just grab this, right? You probably spend $1,000 a year in these places just because, not because you want to use, but just
all
like
the little stuff. Yeah.
like Uber Eats. Look at when you look at your account every year,
Yeah.
bloody hell, all that stuff. Bread, milk, you're paying a little bit more than the supermarkets. You spend a lot of money in these places, these convenience stores, for the reason that's why they are convenient. So I'm not giving them a penny. Not interested.
Co-op travel, on the other hand, they're different.
Love Co-op Travel. Do you know what? Do you know what? They are my favourite, Michael. Out of all the providers of holidays in the UK, Co-op Travel my favourite,
It's good.
personally. Because I got sacked from TUI. So
Oh, did you?
I was a rep.
I vaguely remember that you. I vaguely knew that. I didn't know it was for two either.
Yeah, no, I was a rep. Well, it was first choice Thompson back then, but under the TUI brand. Yeah, I was a club rep for in Turkey in the Fethiye region. Got sacked in the end. Was in a Turkish jail. Claim to fame. Yeah, got a few stories about that, Michael.
Well, I was going to say it's like
Not for a marketing podcast, must say. But yeah, so that's what we're doing with the marketing on that side. And yeah, like I said, it's this is real data. It's not us having an opinion. I'm literally telling you what we're doing. But the proof of concept thing is really interesting. And actually, from our ads perspective, is actually I need to put that proof of concept as I'm talking now through it. Actually, I need to put that in the nurture flow to say, hey, look, let's do a proof of concept with your business. And let's show you, the value you can extract rather than free demo.
Yeah.
Actually, it cheapens it a little bit. So I need to look at that nurture program myself actually and run through. I need to think about how I can put that more in there. Because the proof of concept is a very it's a lot more compelling, and I think actually it shows that we as a brand, Rupert, really want to provide value to you as a brand.
Yeah, they probably take you a bit more seriously then as well, because I think rather than they're just trying to flog us something, this is like more of like a proper enterprise type thing.
Yeah, and I'm hoping with Wyobi, Phil in the office here, who is the marketing director for Milwaukee Tools and Wyobi. I'm hoping that we can do, something similar to them, do a proof of concept and show them. But yeah, what we could do is actually, if you put in your diary in about 6 weeks' time, why don't we revisit this and I can actually show you the results from, the proof of concept versus just the normal demo / free trial. It'd be interesting to show that. And it might be actually a better way of getting agencies more involved. Actually, can we do a proof of concept with 2 of your clients and get them in that way? Yeah, that could be interesting. So yeah, again, always thinking, we don't always have the answers. And when it's your own money, it's a different kettle of fish, I have to say.
Yeah, I feel like with Rupert, we've very much been like, we'll try anything. You know what I mean? It's not like we haven't got like a tried and tested where we're going to keep pushing with this one thing. We've sort of been like, hey,
I've spent money willy-nilly.
Give it a go. We're going to give it a go.
I've tested Guy, the agency stuff. That was a waste of money. Not Guy's fault, but it just didn't work.
Video bot.
Yeah, that was there was a fair reason for that. But again, no, didn't work at all, actually. I was really disappointed in that. Really disappointed.
The French boys, whatever they were called.
Yeah, that did work. And we have had some conversions.
What were they called again? I don't remember.
They are... TC9. TC9. So yeah, that worked, but I couldn't keep spending $3,500 a month on producing such a low level volume. But I've got a really good meeting next week with Adam Herbert actually and Tim next week about how they can help with the outreach program. So the email marketing will start back on, but it's more education. With all of this, we're lucky we're in the position we are that I can afford to keep doing this for another year. But if we were a typical SaaS business that was like trying to sell it and do it, I couldn't have you, Michael. There's no way I couldn't have. It's impossible. You couldn't do it. So when you look at what we're doing, education, it will come. Already, like if you look at my diary now, it's really busy with calls all the day, which is amazing. So there are some really green shoots now, and it'll only keep getting better. Customers are liking it. Support, again, more emails about how do I use this feature, which is great. So yeah, there's some definitely positives, but it's time. You're not. It doesn't matter if you're a solicitor, you're selling an e-commerce product. You're like a race event like Big Bear with Paul. Things just take time. Nothing's overnight. And that's although we always want it overnight, it's never that way. And you've just, this is why you've just got to sometimes just go, right, where do we start? What do we test? When something's working, double down and test the other stuff while you're doing it. Don't rest on your laurels on one way of acquiring. And it will just get better. The more people talk about it, the more people see the value in the comments. And who knows, there might be some competitors, or some of the social scheduling tools will increase their features, which is great. So people are more inclined to value their comments, which would be amazing. So, but I get loads of referrals now, which is great. So we're definitely getting there. We're definitely getting there. But
I think like 2.0 coming out and Matt coming on board, I think both of those have sort of helped quite a lot, because now you can, with 2.0, obviously with the sales opportunities, it's a lot more compelling now that you can talk about it. And Matt, obviously, it's still in its early stage, but him coming on and being able to do more like the techie side gives you more bandwidth to do all the salesy type stuff.
Yeah, and that's what I didn't have before. And again, it's just finding out where your strengths lie, what's good, what's bad, and where should you be focusing on? And even over the last 2 weeks, you can see the diary filling up more, and that's just because I'm more active. Again, which is great. So But again, just thought I'd give everyone a bit of an update in terms of our own marketing, so you can see what we're doing. Like I said, I'm spending £30 a day at the moment on our Facebook ads, so that's about £1,000 a month, which obviously we need to increase once I know what those conversions are, and then start split testing against that. So it's getting there slowly but surely. What marketing have you seen this week, Michael? That is piqued your interest?
Well, I'm always on the lookout. Like, as much as it annoys me to not have YouTube Premium, seeing ads and stuff is helpful for this job sometimes. But I was down in London again at the weekend.
Okay.
We were driving through somewhere, Dartford, I think, and we were in an Uber, and I was like, "Oh, that billboard." So then I leaned over and took a photo out the window. My girlfriend thought I was a crackhead. But it's sort of a bit similar to what we talked about. Do you remember ages ago you spoke about the people that put the letter through your door about the estate agents that you had an issue with because, this has nothing to do with me, it's nowhere near me type thing.
Yeah.
Gave me that vibe, so it's not the best photo in the world, but you can kind of see what it says. It says, which estate agent has sold the most properties in this area during 2024, I'm assuming. And then it says we've sold nearly 1 in 5 of all the properties that were sold in the DA1 postcode, which is the postcode where they were. So I thought, it's not bad.
Yeah, I like that.
If you drive past that and think these lot are the biggest one in our area, it's simple. It doesn't take a huge amount of time, but it's sort of what the ones that you were talking about didn't do, where they've made it relevant to where they are, and people who are looking at that can just be like, oh,
yeah, no, I like that. Simple, but also relevant. A lot of wording, though. A lot of copy on that.
Probably didn't need all of it. It could have just probably been Livermore's sold 1 in 5. It could have just been the bottom bit with the name of it. But
I think in terms of the concept, they've done well there.
Decent. I saw a one for Burger King as well. I don't know if you saw that.
We do one each, don't we?
No, you can go. I had an extra one in case you didn't have.
No, no. Don't, Michael. I prepare so much for this podcast. So I'm going to give a shout out to Lovable Dev, which is a no-code app platform, and I love their content, their video content
on TikTok.
Yeah, on TikTok. It's across all their platforms. But what they do is they basically have an argument in a meeting. It's obviously all staged about why it's taken so long to develop something, and the boss is kicking off, and all these developers. But obviously the key is to get them, people emotionally going, oh, I've been there, and they can they've been in that situation. Very good. I love it. And I think, you can really sort of put yourself in their shoes of, I've been in those types of meetings. Obviously, only so many people only their target market would have been in there, would be able to look at this and go, I understand, which is great. So I like that. I'm going to give a shout out to those boys, because I think they've got some.
I've never heard of them.
Well, you wouldn't, because you wouldn't be served it. You and Nick spoke about this the other day about Bulbro, right? Again, I listened to the podcast, even though I'm not here, just for reference, Nick, who you're not listening now. But you wouldn't be served it because you're not developer or developing anything. 2 billion valuation, Jesus! No wonder they've got such good ads.
That's the same one at Lovable.dev.
Yeah.
2-year-old group set out to attract more than 150 million in new funding.
As investors swarm around AI coding businesses. Wow. So saw that, really good.
Fair play
Really
to 'em.
good.
Small little up and coming business.
Wow, I don't think it's up and coming. Bloody hell.
2 billion valuation.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the marketing I've seen this week. But Michael, what a great podcast. What a great way to end a Thursday.
I like that. It was,
Yeah.
It was
And
value.
I've got to shoot now because I'm going to be back in the office in about 12 hours and 40 minutes time.
Running.
Yeah, I've got running. But anyway, Michael, thank you and we'll see you all next week.